It's Emma Kavanaugh, and I'm going to do an unboxing of some of the materials and supplies that I use for RTI. And these are tiered strategies. Name of the game is you take your student population in one class, you give a formative assessment, you decide the results of that formative assessment, decide what makes a student a tier 1 student who has already grasped the material that you're trying to master. Tier 2 students pretty much have it. Those are the students that might benefit from just a couple extra practice problems, maybe pushing the rigor a little bit. And then you have tier 3 students who need you. So the whole way that RTI tiered strategies work is that you are given an opportunity to provide tier 1 students with something that's going to challenge them, but something that's not too hard that they can't do alone, or that they can't do without consulting each other, using some resources. That all needs to be set up for them. Tier 2 students are going to be the ones who could probably just do a worksheet. Maybe there's like some lower level like recall problems, and then it'll move down maybe on the activity. You have some application problems, or use some of those think questions. Again, tier 2 students are going to need to, for the most part, work independently. So you're going to need to also keep that in mind as you're planning tier 1 and tier 2 activities. Now, tier 3, you can sort of work with tier 3 in the moment. So you can have tools and supplies and manipulatives and things to physically move around, whiteboards, even like paper pencil. Like, these kids are the kids that are just gonna need to review with you. So you need to make sure you're scaffolding them. These are the students, tier 3, they don't have the background knowledge, or they don't have the on grade level skills that they need to be successful. So when we look at some of these activities, I have to admit that I'm not very Pinteresting. That's why I decided to make this video the way that it is, very casual, because I want to focus on what's important. And so a lot of people will think like, oh, well, she's not very professional, and like, oh, have you seen her video, and like she has laryngitis. But I think it's important as teachers to just focus on what you need to focus on and what is the most important thing. And that's me showing you, any way that I know, all the things that I use. So I want you to keep in mind the goal. The goal is that you need multiple things for students to do. They need to be able to complete those things with their group, and they also need to complete them in the time that you give them. And it's better to overplan than to underplan. So some of these things students might not get to. So for one tiered group work day, you might say, okay, hey, you guys have a checklist of these items to get through. If you only get through 2 of the 4, that's fine. Keep your checklist in your work in progress folder, and then we'll revisit it on the next tiered RTI day. And this is for secondary. So if elementary students can follow these routines and procedures and work on centers independently, which I know they know how to do, then your secondary students can do it too. You're just gonna need to have a shift in their mindset. So that's really like the way that I approach RTI in a nutshell. It's really good for review days. It's really good for when you know that students are gonna struggle with a concept, but some students get it. And you know, okay, this is the unit where I'm gonna drag along kids for a long time, keep them busy, who get it right away, and you're also gonna have like a majority of kids who don't understand it. So this is a way for you to personalize the learning for your groups of students in a way that gives every group exactly what they need. So the next couple videos are going to go through my drawers. These are all math based, but I have some science ideas, and then I also worked on a team on blended learning and then integrating technology into this, which is a whole new can of worms. But I do have some ideas, so you feel free to contact me. I'm on Twitter, I have a LinkedIn, I have an email address, so everything you saw at the beginning of this presentation.